So I was Don't do what I just did. What's up, guys? Today we are going to be unboxing and building the all-new Framework desktop. This thing is incredible. This is the 128 gigabyte unified memory model. It's the HX AI 395 processor. This thing is a powerhouse of a machine, and I cannot wait to get out of the box. I've never owned a Framework, whether laptop or now their desktop, obviously, but I really love the company and I love what they stand for. So I'm really excited to get this out of the box and set it up, and I really hope that it's everything they say it is. So let's get into the video and find out. Let's go ahead, let's get this thing out of the box. I did open it up just to make sure that everything was okay inside, because when it came, the box was damaged. So I was like, okay, I didn't take anything out, but I wanted to check and make sure things were okay. So I just opened the lid, but besides that, everything is in its packaging. So this is what you're gonna get if you get one of these things. I did order two 2 terabyte nVMe drives for this. So we're gonna use both of those slots there. We have an accessory box over here, so let's go ahead, we'll get that out here real fast and see what's in here. I've never had one of these. It looks like I may have opened this upside down. I did, but we have our power cord, so that's really cool. Then we have these little tiles. I did get separate tiles over here. I'm assuming that's what these are. Let's see here. Yep, these are the tiles here. So I ordered some special custom tiles that I'm gonna be checking out as well. These are just the standard, tile pack I think they had that you select there. So I'll set that over there, set this here. And then I got 2 USB-C expansion card slots for this model, and I got a USB-A expansion card slot. So again, show you where those go, but really, really cool that that's there. So that is the accessory pouch that we have here. In fact, if I had opened it the right way, it tells you right here on the top what's included in the pouch or in the box. And here I got the translucent side panel for this. So that is gonna be really, really cool. Go ahead and open that here. We'll check it out for the first time. Let me see here. This thing is, it's a powerhouse of a machine. I've been watching it for a while now, and there it is. So got that nice, clear, plexiglass, translucent PC side panel. It's for the tower unit. And we'll go ahead, we'll leave this on here real quick, just to protect it. And I'll set that over there. And then let's go ahead and lift this out here. I don't think there's anything else. There is a get started QR scanner here. You could go on their website. I did look at the website just to see how crazy it is to build it, and it's not crazy. So we're gonna get through this video. That's kind of what this video is about, is we're gonna build this and see how simple it really is to do it. And if I make mistakes, you'll be able to see what I've made and how I fix them. So if you end up with one of these, you don't make the same mistakes I do. Hopefully I don't make any. I got a CPU fan here, because again, I don't have anything like this. So I'll set this stuff over here. I'll go ahead and pull this out if I can pull it out. Looks like it, there we go. So we'll pull that out there. So there is the outer shell that feels like screws there, and lift that out. There we go. There's our PCU fan, or PC fan rather. So I'll go ahead and leave that in there for now, just because we'll need that later. And again, I'm gonna set that over here, set this with that. There we go. And then here is the machine. And I'm gonna tell you, this box is heavy, and that thing is a chunk of a brick. My goodness. You open this up here, there's some of the damage. It must be from the side over there or something, because that paper is torn. But anyway, I'll throw this on the ground here, and there she is. That is just, that is a brick of a heat sink, and I'm pretty sure that's what that is. That thing is probably a good 80% of what the weight is here. The power brick down here is also pretty heavy. I don't know, maybe that's not 90%. About half of the weight is there and half of the weight's the power brick, but that is just a nice looking machine. Oh, they gave us stickers. Very, very cool. All right, that is awesome. That's going on the desktop. That is super cool. Look at those stickers. Man, that's gonna go on that translucent side panel. Okay, very, very cool. Very excited about that. And you've got your manual here for building it. And then this is their tool. So it is a single tool design. You don't need anything else. You should just need this tool if I understand how they do everything. And I think that is everything. That is just pretty much the whole thing. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I will put everything back in this box real fast, and just the boxes, and then we'll lay everything out and we'll build this machine. So we'll get back into it. So I got all of the stuff cleaned up and we're cleared up, and we just have the stuff that we need to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and install the NVMe drive. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this over here. Now it's a little bit hard to see, and hopefully the top down can get it. If not, I'll get some tighter B-roll shots after the fact and just show you where this goes. But we have this little tool here, so we're going to go ahead and stick this in right here and unscrew. There's a little set screw in there, and that's gonna lift up that heat shield, whatever you wanna call it, here. And I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up right there. There we go. They say to hold that, so that's kind of got your heat tape on it as well. Actually, what I will do is I will do that. There we go. So that'll hold that in place, so I can get the NVMe drive out here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and also open up the second one because we have both of these here that I will be installing. So they say that this is a 20-minute build. So total, it should take you no more. I think it's like between a 10 and a 20-minute build is what they said on their webpage. So we'll see if that's true here. This will be a as I'm building it thing, how long it takes me to open the packaging and all the different stuff. Get that out there. There we go. We've got the NVMe. Now, when you're installing these, make sure you do not touch these copper points at the end here. Not a good idea. If you do, you want to clean them off. I believe you want to use some isopropyl alcohol. I could be wrong on that, but you definitely want to get the oil off of them. So look it up online. I could throw up at the bottom of the video if people have questions what to do there. And you're gonna slide this in. There's a little locking thing, and it only goes in one way. You're gonna slide it in there. It's gonna sit up a little bit, so it's gonna be like elevated. When you do that, you're just gonna gently press that down and then tighten that set screw back down. And there we go. The first NVMe drive is installed. I will set this over here to the side now, and then we're gonna go ahead and open it up. Now, on this side panel here, they say that you grab both sides, so grab like this, right? And then you push, and we're gonna see if that actually works. Actually, I believe I have to take off the top first. So there's two little screws up here. You twist here. These things flip up. So again, this is very toolless minded in terms of taking apart the case. And so here you go, you've got your two little screws, set them down. I believe this slides, there we go, that slides that way. We'll set that over there. And then we grab the top here, and it says that we slide it, and that's not working. Hold on, let me see here. Oh, okay. So don't slide to the right, slide up. So grab two fingers, and I'm gonna do the top down here, so hopefully you can see it. Make sure there's nothing under here. So you're gonna grab that, and you're gonna slide it. It's a little hard doing it this angle, but you're gonna slide it up, and then that panel's gonna come off, and there you go. That's the other side panel there. We'll set that over there. Now again, you've got the NVMe, the second NVMe slot. So depending on if you bought two NVMe drives, this is what you would do. If you only bought one, you would put it on the internal one, and then this would be your secondary. So again, there's a little set screw right down in here. We're gonna go ahead and loosen that up and get that little heat shield out of the way there. There we go. Now this one nope, not gonna sit there. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold that with well, I was going to, until it decided to fall on me. And let's set this over here. We'll set the instruction manual over there, and we'll grab this drive here. Again, I wanna make sure we do not touch those copper points, so you can touch the back part of the drive and the sides, and you should be pretty okay, but make sure you do not touch those copper points at the end here. And again, this is only gonna go in one way. You have a little longer run of copper, and then you have the little short, and you'll notice in here you have the same pattern. You just slide that in there just like that. There we go. Again, you'll see that that is angled like that. That's perfectly fine. You want to slowly lower that down and just gently press it down, and there you go. Tighten that up, and just like that, you've got two NVMe drives in. Super, super simple, super straightforward. Again, I've never built this machine before. I just literally looked at a couple instructions online, and I'm doing this. So hopefully this video helps somebody else out. This is also, I believe this is your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth card, if I remember correctly. So super cool that we get to see that. And then I believe that this front panel, if I remember, okay, right, it's magnetic. So you'll notice right there, that comes off. So we can install our little panels over here. So I'll go ahead and do that real fast. So you grab these little tiles, and you can get the files. So if you have a 3D printer, you can get the files for those, and you can 3D print your own tiles if you want to. Super, super cool. I do have a 3D printer. I haven't made a video yet on it, but I have it in the queue to be released. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing some printing for this and a couple other projects I have. But I got my Linux and framework symbol here. That's the framework tile. I thought that was pretty cool. Then I got my grass tile. You got to get a grass tile for, you know, a PC. Kind of a thing. And let me go ahead. We'll get this open here. See what other else. Okay, AMD. Again, love AMD. Really nice stuff. I do have a Oculink card that I bought for this because this has a PCIe by 4 down here and a 4x4 port. And I'm gonna go ahead and try both an internal, and then I really probably will stick with the internal one, but I have one that's for the external. Now, if you just bought the board, then that won't be a problem for you, but anyone who buys the case, you don't have any other port. They don't leave a slot for any other ports. Even though they have the PCIe, you know, slot in there, they don't give a way to attach a card to it. Kind of sucks, but that's my only downside right now that I know about this. And there we go, we've got our tile there, and I will go ahead and peel this off just because, you know, I'm gonna take all the stickers off. And let me open this up. We'll show you what they all look like here. Now again, this is going a little bit extra overboard. Obviously, we're not building the computer exactly, but you would do this if you were setting up the computer. You would, you know, go through, get your tiles put in, stuff like that. So we'll see how this works. Looks like little Legos, honestly, kind of cool. So I will go ahead and just for speed's sake, let's see how they go in here. So it looks like they just literally pop in. Look at that, that is cool. So they just literally pop in there and you can do whatever you want with it. So like you could put AMD right there, and then I could put red around it here. We could follow the pattern, and then I could put my Linux one there. And let's go ahead and put touch grass in between there just for whatever. And then I'll put my framework at the bottom, and I'll go ahead and do that. So again, like, this is very, very simple, very, very easy to do. It's not a really complicated build. And that's what's cool about Framework, is that they're really a really easy, nice company in terms of what they do, because they build computers that are like, they're for people who don't want to have to, you know, learn a whole lot about the tech, or, you know, maybe know the ins and the outs of what thermal paste to put on and stuff like that. I mean, you can get into that with this too, don't get me wrong. And it looks like I actually may be short a few tiles. I don't know if I didn't order enough or not, but that's what it is. So I will get a couple more down the road, but there it is. That's what it will look like, minus the fact that I missed 2 tiles apparently. But yeah, that just goes on here. Let me turn this around. So this is the front of the computer. That just magnetically attaches right there. And it's a little interesting. I'm gonna set this on its back here. Oh, I see. So it slots in, so down and in. So it goes in, there you go. Perfect, goes in. That is your power button right here on the front. And that's gonna drive me slightly crazy that I missed those 2. I thought I ordered enough slots. But anyway, let's go ahead, let's put the side panel back on. So we'll set this down like this. And this says right here, there's top, so you know which way is the top. Slot it in there. Make sure we're locked in, and just like that, there we go. Now, it did angle that just a little bit. Interesting. I hope that's okay. Grab your 2 top screws here. We're gonna take the top panel, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that on for right now. If I have to retake it off, again, super straightforward to do. You just twist these 2 top screws here. I'll go ahead and set this in the middle here. Hopefully the top down can see. So again, super simple. You just tighten these guys down just like this, and lay that down. Really, really nice, really, really convenient. And I love this. I love this build so far. It's really cool. Now, the only thing that's gonna be interesting is that the fan here goes in, I believe, right here. And again, I've never done this, so I don't know where exactly this is supposed to go. It looks like it goes right there. Now, I'm kind of doing this off the cuff, just to let you see what it might look like if you didn't pay attention to the instructions, and I may have to pause here and go get it. go get them because, you know, I don't know. I don't know where this goes yet. So let me look at the power here, turn this around. You've got a little tiny power port down in there, and that looks like that may be it. What I may do is we have the instructions here. Probably should read those, you know, probably a good idea. Let's see here, that goes in there, that goes in there, cool. We'll go over the ports in a second on the back. I just want to look at this real fast and just see how complicated this is. And this is not going to tell me how to plug in the fan. So we're going to look at this here. Going to assume that it's the cooler master. I'm going to assume that goes. I wonder if I have that upside down. Let me go ahead and turn it here. There we go. And I think, I can't tell if that's the right direction or not. Let me see here. Does this go? That looks like that's where that goes, but I don't know for a fact. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check out the how-to on their little scanner here. Where did I put the box? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just like they suggest here, this is getting started. We're gonna go ahead and scan that code there. Try not to rip my box, like my box. And let's go ahead and see. So let's scroll down here. So again, this is the website. They have everything here, kind of tell you how to do everything. And it looks like they may want me to keep all those side panels off, but we're gonna go ahead and skip that for right now. We'll go ahead and retake those off as I need to. All right, so the cooler, that is the right way. So you wanna make sure that the cooler master, or at least it looks like that's the case, this is facing down, I believe, from what they're saying. And the power cords are going towards the top of the machine? Interesting. It looks like it's going towards the top of the machine. Let me go ahead and look here. That goes in there. You put that in there. And there is, okay, so yes, it looks like, see, we've already made a mistake. I should have kept this off. So the first step of the process, if you're building this, is to keep the top panel off. So let me go ahead and take that. I'm gonna set my screws over here. And again, super simple, super straightforward. And look at that. Right at the top, had I left the top off, it says APU fan. So there we go. And then that is a sys fan 2, it looks like. So interesting, but they are saying to plug it into APU fan. So we take this and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that your cables go towards this direction. So I was don't do what I just did and grab the side panel and throw your computer almost throw your computer off the desk. That was fun and not very exciting for me. I nearly had a heart attack. Anyway, take your computer fan and make sure that your cords, because these are your power cords, okay? They're gonna go towards the top, which is right here. You've got this, the plug-in right there. So you're gonna go ahead and slot that in right there. And my heart's racing. I gotta be honest, that was a little interesting. And slot this down into there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw all 3 of these down in there, and we'll figure out which one has to go where at later. And it looks like that's coming with it. Okay, and then you have a little cover here. This is to protect these little 3-pin things. Computer pins, if you're not aware, been super, super easy, so make sure as best as possible to keep that on. In fact, I may later go grab some electrical tape and just tape that to that if I don't need it, just because I don't want to lose it. Honestly, bending pins is really easy in computers, and once you bend them, it's a nightmare, if not impossible, to get them to go back. So what we're gonna do, and they do recommend doing this first, is you take this and you put this on here. This is gonna hold that fan in place. Whew, I'm telling you, I'm pumped now. That about freaked me out. I saw my life flash before my eyes. So it looks like, interesting. Oh, there we go. Cool. I didn't even know, but I was like, you know, I wonder if they included it. They sure enough do. So it is both a Phillips and a, looks like a star key, hex key. I'm not sure exactly which one, but all the tools are included in this one tool. Really, really cool. Good on you framework for doing this. And making it a very straightforward process. In fact, I will be adding this to my computer build, equipment, just because that's a really handy little screwdriver to have for any kind of computer, tech building, because it's got, the screw is a fairly standard, PC screw. Let's go ahead, we'll get this in here. So there you go, you got 4 screws that came in that packet with your fan. If you bought the fan, if you already had a fan, obviously you'll have your screws and everything, and there we go. And there's the fan. Now it's installed. Now, when you pick it up, do not grab the front. That is magnetic. In fact, I'm going to detach that because that's what actually slipped out of my hand as it slipped up, because it's just magnets holding that right there. And then you're gonna take this cable, and I'm gonna hope I have this correct here, and I'm gonna scroll down here, and I am making sure to check the instructions just because I wanna make sure that I get this right. And it looks like so you've got 3 connectors here. You've got one that splits off into another power thing here. And you've got this one, and this one has a little slot. Now, I don't know if the top down can see it. I'm gonna try to get my finger out of the way. Hopefully the top down can get that. There is little tiny like raised bumps, they're grooves. This one does not have it, and this one is the pins out, right? So this is the male, this is a female, and then this is another female, but this has 4 pins, you know, or where it would plug into 4 pins. Now this goes, supposedly, and again, you're gonna, if you have smaller hands than I do, it's gonna be a lot easier, but it goes right where it says APU fan. So right there, it says APU fan, and you just plug that in there. Again, my fingers do not want to go in there. Let's go ahead and line it up. Trying to be very careful not to bend any of the pins. Let's see here. This is super, there we go. So there we go, it is in. I'm gonna go ahead and put that stuff right there. Hopefully that's okay for right now. Oh, and looks like okay, duh. So you will need this secondary cable over here, which hopefully will reach, that I was talking about. There is a second cable, and that has an arrow on it. That goes on the sys fan too. So APU fan is the one with the raised grooves, 4 connectors. Sys fan has a little arrow on it and only has 3 connectors on it, or at least that's what it looks like. This one has 4. I'm hoping that this is correct. Oh, there it is. That's fan. I take it back. It does not go on APU. Stop falling. Everything stop falling apart. Okay, it does not go on APU fan. I subtract what I said. This goes on the RGB connector. So there is a 3-prong connector right here, or 3-pin out, power out, or power connector, whatever you want to call it. And that's where this goes. So pretty self-explanatory if you're looking at it. But yeah, this is to power the RGB if you got this. So if you did not do the RGB set, then you don't have to worry about this. But if you did, if you got the fan that I got, the Cooler Master, then that goes there. And then this, again, I'm gonna set that right there, but I'm gonna get some electrical tape afterwards, and I'm gonna tape that just because that makes me a little nervous. I don't want that, you know, falling off around in the computer. And there we go, that is it. So at that point, this computer is built. All we gotta do is put on the front here. We'll slide this on right here. There we go. And we will take the top panel again, follow the arrows. All has arrows, all super straightforward to do. You just slide this on. I say that, and you know, of course, it's super complicated now and not wanting to go on. And let's see here, do I have this right? Oh, front, duh, I have that wrong. So arrows to the back, not arrows to the front. Keep that in mind. Again, all learning here. I will slide this off here real quick though, just because I realized you need to put on your other side panel. So grab this. Again, all of their stuff is labeled really, really well if you read the stuff. Top, bottom. So flip it. You also notice the grooves here. So you just take that and you're gonna slide that in there. There we go. And it is all together. And I have built in a fairly short amount of time with some mistakes, mind you. And this does not want to go on there very easily. I know they say that this is easy, but this is, there we go. Okay, so you it's a little hard sometimes to get to snap in there, but it does go in. Again, first time doing this. I had to pull up the instructions. So, really, really cool. I love this machine. I love Framework. I've been watching them since they started as a company, and I've really wanted one of their laptops, and then they made a desktop, and I mean, come on, that is super cool. There is the fan through there that I believe is the RGB fan. That's why we plugged that in. We'll go ahead and go through the ports here. You do an HDMI 2.1 port, really, really cool. You get dual USB-C 4 ports. You get 2 DisplayPort 2.1 as well. And then you get dual USB-A 3.2 Gen 2 ports back here. And then you get a 5 gigabit Ethernet port on the back. That is just super, super cool that we have that. And then you also have a standard audio jack for headphones and I believe microphone as well. So really, really cool and awesome that we have all of that, you know, all those ports, whatever you want. So if you go right here at the front, you'll notice I'm missing those tiles. Again, gonna drive me nuts. These slot in. I don't know how they do it because never done it. They slot in. Okay, so label to the top, pop right there. Now, theoretically, there is a USB-C port down there. I would assume, see how easy it is. Oh, okay, there is a little locking lever down there that locks those into place. So this is just a USB-C dongle, essentially. So if you didn't want to use these, I would assume you could plug in a USB dongle, a USB cable, whatever it may be down here, but this just pulls the port a little bit more flush with the front of the machine. And I'm gonna put that in backwards every single time. So I won't plug in the USB-C one right now, but you just have these laying around. You can just throw them in. So there we go, like that. So now I have a USB-A and USB-C on the front, and then dual USB-C on the back. So that would give you, 3 USB-C, or maybe you want to do 4 USB-C, whatever it may be. You have the option with this to do that. And it's really, really cool. I think they also have like an HDMI one, I think a bunch of different ones that you can pick up and whatever fits your build or whatever you want for your machine. But there it is. That is the machine. It is built. It is super cool. Like I said, I will grab my cards here. So these are, I think 20 bucks on Amazon, something like that, super cheap. This is a Oculink port. This is the external one. So as you can see here, this is the problem with this card. I would have to take this plate off and even to get it close to there, but there's nowhere to put the card. It doesn't, there's no, it should be like right about here. Obviously, this is a card, this is for a full-size, or closer to a full-size case. But yeah, this, and actually I take that back, that may actually go that way, yes. So that would go that way. So this one probably will not work. However, there is another way you can do this. And again, I will, in another video, be testing the Oculink port out, and I'm gonna put Bazzite on this. I wanna do some Proxmox stuff here where I turn this into kind of like a, VM machine where it's gonna have multiple different VMs, Windows, Linux, whatever it is, and I can run multiple different OSs on this. So kind of like a, ESXi host, stuff like that, if you're familiar with VMware. But this one, this card is an internal Oculink port. So this one right here is going to grab, it's gonna plug into the PCIe 4x4 port, or slots, and then you're going to have that internal. So the cable's going to have to run internally in out of the case somewhere. So somehow I'm going to have to figure out how to get a cable out of here. I will say that I already have slots here that are missing things, so maybe I could run it out of there. This is plexiglass, maybe cut a port, I don't know. Honestly, I could pop the side off if I wanted to use the Oculink, plug it in, and if not, spool up the cable and or whatever. But I will be checking that out. Not right now though. But what I will do is let's go ahead and let's at least turn it on just to see what it looks like lit up. And then I will also have to apply my stickers down the road. That is just super cool that they gave these, and those are cool stickers. Just letting you know, those are cool stickers. Let me go ahead and grab this cable here real fast. And I will plug this in. This is a standard PC, power cord. So if you're familiar with, standard PC power cord, then you'll know what that is. And I'll grab this over here. I have a extension cord, don't you fall. And let me go ahead and grab, hopefully don't knock my Raspberry Pi over. Okay. All right, so I'll plug this in, just see if it all works. Set this on the box right there real fast. Make sure my thing doesn't fall over. And you have I see a light on inside, very good. You're gonna hit your power button right there. Now there is no OS on this, so I'm going to assume that, that nothing's gonna happen. But again, I don't have this plugged into a monitor. I just wanted to see, make sure everything turned on. I have green lights, it looks like. I do have an amber light there, but again, it's booting up, probably like, hey, I don't have an OS on this drive. So yeah, I will get OSs installed in here, and that may actually be a completely separate video, but this was just building the Framework desktop and to see how easy it is. Hopefully you don't make the mistakes that I did. There's a few things that are gotcha. Make sure all the panels are off, top panel, front panel, don't grab the front panel, and you can actually pull this front panel off and replace it. You don't have to take the top off every time you want to do that, because again, this is magnetic. So also keep that in mind when you are grabbing this computer, that you don't grab the front and pull that off. That I could see that as an issue. It's really easy to come off, and if you grabbed it and weren't paying attention, I mean, you shouldn't, but you know, cool. Also, there is a handle. I just remembered this. There is going to be a handle that comes out later that'll be in their accessory part of their website. And I'm assuming by the looks of it, you screw it in right here. So you replace these two top set screws right here, and then you would have a handle so you could go do LAN parties. I mean, that is just awesome. And I cannot wait for that to come out. So yeah, that is the computer. I'm gonna go ahead and power it down here. And I will pick up also some more tiles, because I apparently didn't get enough tiles. That really sucks. But besides that, that is the build of the Framework desktop. Super straightforward, super simple, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed building it. I cannot wait to get this set up as a server and as a a machine with Bazzite running in it. Check out some games. Check out, I have an eGPU. That's why I have the Oculink ports that I have here. I have a 4090 eGPU from Morphine, and I want to plug that in here. It's a mobile eGPU, so it's not going to be the full massive card. But it's not a 5090 or a 5080, but it's a 4090, and it does pretty good on all of my other stuff over USB 4. So I cannot wait to see what it does with Oculink on this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.